welcome into the Bobby Drew Show, everybody. It is May 27th, Memorial Day. So we are celebrating all those that gave everything. There's the saying that says some gave all, but all gave some, or is it the other way around? All gave some, but some gave all is what it says. So we are celebrating that here today in the Americas of the United States. And Dave, did you have a barbecue today? Brian, anybody have a barbecue?
We did. Good old-fashioned hamburgers, hot dogs, potato salad, chips, little pool time, little basketball. The boys went fishing this morning at like 6 in the morning. Didn't work out so well because we had major storms last night, but they're youngins. I let them figure it out on themselves. Them fish were hiding, man. We had tornadoes and everything, so we just whatever.
Wow.
We did our barbecue family time was on Saturday this weekend, not today. Today was just not a work day, but a time for other things. But I tell you what, I did find myself at Publix today, the greatest store
Ever.
Okay, yep. For groceries. And while I was in there, they came over the loudspeaker and made an announcement in honor of Memorial Day and all those that served currently in the past and even gave their lives. A moment of silence. And I tell you what, it was wild. The whole store just like went dead quiet. Everybody just stopped. The cashiers weren't ringing things up. Everybody just stood there like in a moment of silence. And for a minute long, this wasn't like a 10-second deal. And I'm like, I've never seen anything like that in public or Publix.
Nice.
So shout out to Publix.
Absolutely.
Happy Memorial Day to everyone.
Absolutely.
Yep. Happy Memorial Day, everybody. And God bless America.
Yes.
Yes.
And you know what? God bless the Bobby Drew Show.
Yes. God bless. Please, Lord, please bless the Bobby Drew Show. We definitely use it. Dave, speaking of God bless America, God bless the Bobby Drew Show, I believe you have a scripture of the week for us, the verse of the week.
Yeah, verse of the week. And I think this is, I would say by the end of tonight's show, you would realize the gravity of this scripture and the importance of it. Open in your Bibles with me to Matthew chapter 5 and verse 9. And we are going to read the red letters here. These are words of God Almighty, Jesus himself, where he said, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God."
Wow. Did you have that made for tonight, Dave?
Yes, I did.
That's commitment. That is commitment.
It's my one contribution to the show.
Well, I think I'm a peacemaker. That's what I am.
Yeah.
Maker. Dave, Brian, you're a I think you're a peacemaker.
I try to be.
Yeah, Dave, I think we're all peacemakers here, you know?
I disagree.
I honestly think Dave's a pretty good peacemaker.
I am pretty good. Listen, I don't...
Roger that.
Bobby Drew, Pastor Andrew, man of God in your own right, but I have not known you to be a peacemaker. Nay, thou art a trash talker.
Listen. When it comes to sports, there is no peace to be had. Peace does not belong in sports. Sports are like they're a battle on whatever field, whether it's a court, ice, football field, baseball field. There's a battle between two teams that think they are the best. Those two teams go at it. The only peace that can be had is when the final score, the last buzzer, the last pitch, the inning is over, that buzzer's done, then peace can be made because then it's been settled. But until that time, no peace should be had. So blessed are the peacemakers.
Before we get started,
blessed are the winners.
There you go.
That's just hard.
Before we get started, I do want to say that the Bobby Drew Show, the sports guy, the tournament champ, and the football champ, we're a super team. Just see what I did there.
Yes.
We shall get into it.
We are a super team. And you know what? After the show, the biggest problem here is that we're all virtual here. We're not together in the same room. So
Right.
no matter the winners or losers tonight, I mean, typically, you know, when you go to that Little League baseball game, and it doesn't matter who wins, they line up both teams up and they cross paths and they're giving each other high fives. That can't happen tonight, and that makes me sad.
Well, oh my gosh, Brian, you said you and Dave are a super team.
I said
Me,
all three of us.
Sorry,
yeah.
All
Oh,
three of us.
I thought I was left out of that one.
No, sir. I said fantasy football champ.
Oh, okay. I almost
No,
got.
no. See, I'm a peacemaker. That's what I
He
am.
forgot. He forgot he
Yeah,
was
he's a
a
fantasy
champion
football
at
champ.
anything.
I almost disrupted the peace on this on the show for that one. But hey, I appreciate. We are a super team, and I feel like we can go head to head with any other show out there. You put us in the same studio with them, and we're 100% better because all they do is talk facts. Nobody wants to hear about the facts. People want to be entertained. That's a fact.
That's this Western culture that we live in. Entertain me.
Mhm.
That's what I want. I'm looking for entertainment. Facts are important, but you know, come on, make it interesting.
Exactly.
Facts are very important. And a fact of the MLB is that the Boston Red Sox have swept the Rays last week. And then not only did we get swept by the Red Sox, then we continued to be swept by the Royals. Awesome. We got swept twice in a row.
Bro, the chance this kills me with the Rays. You've got I think they started out the series with the Red Sox like 3.5 games behind. You've got a chance to gain, you know, to move up into your games behind, and you just gave it all away to them. It's ridiculous. And
We were ahead before that series
Yeah.
by like 1 or 2 games, and then just ended it.
ahead of Boston?
Yeah, they were.
Well, I haven't looked at it in like 2 weeks.
Because the week before they played in Fenway and the Rays took 3 out of 4. And then I think they were like a game and a half ahead going in. And then Boston said, all right, enough of this. We're just going to sweep this trash out to the trash can. And that's what they did.
Right now, Dave, the AL East is set like this. At the bottom, we have the Toronto Blue Jays at 24 and 29. Then we have the Tampa Bay Rays at 26 and 28. And then we have the Boston Red Sox at an even 500, 27 and 27. The Baltimore O's, 34 and 18. And the New York Yankees, 37 and 18. I will say, even though they're in the AL East, it is kind of nice to see the Baltimore Orioles actually turning into something. They were trash for a long, long time.
Well, the Baltimore Orioles took the Rays way. Be terrible for a long time, make good draft picks, and then you'll be good for a minute. And that's where they got they legitimately have good young hitters, good young pitchers. They're going to be around for quite a while.
Well, if they're anything like the Rays, they're going to have these good draft picks. They're going to bring up excellent, awesome players, and then not be able to afford to keep them. And then they're going to go off and make other teams great.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. Like, I don't know, trade away Tyler Glasnow. That's awesome. Gosh, we could really use that guy this year. We could. But have you heard about this guy Skeens?
Yeah, Paul Skeens.
Yeah, with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Mm-hmm.
This dude is wild.
Yeah.
In my lifetime, I mean, I wouldn't consider myself an avid baseball watcher, but at least in my lifetime, where not like my kid years, but my more adult years. I mean, he's throwing some pretty crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If he keeps it up, he's going to be a name that we're going to remember for a long, long time. This guy, I think in his like third or fourth start, he already had like 14 pitches over 100 miles an hour.
Yep, he'll have Tommy John surgery in a year and a half.
Yeah,
He probably will.
That's the trend for all of them.
He throws like this. So he throws this crazy heater, I think it's an average of like 99 miles an hour.
Yep.
And then he hits him with this slider. It's a slider or a sinker, one of the two.
It's like a slider sweeper almost.
Yeah.
He's got a decent changeup too, and it's all comes out of the same arm slot, so it's kind of hard to pick up.
Yeah.
What speed is this changeup?
Most of the hitters are looking at his girlfriend anyway. So.
Yeah. What speed is this changeup, Brian? Do you know?
It's in the lower 80s. So you're talking 20-mile-an-hour difference.
So you're looking at 100-mile-an-hour fastball, and then from the same arm slot, the same everything. You're looking at an 80-mile-an-hour.
Yep.
Golly.
Yep.
One thing I love about the MLB is that you can go and look at their the playoffs way early in the season for no reason.
Yeah.
And so right now, if the season was to be over, the Seattle Mariners, the Cleveland Guardians, and the New York Yankees would be the AL leaders. And the Philadelphia Phillies, the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the Milwaukee Brewers would be the NL leaders. Boston, let's see, how many? So the AL wild card would be the Orioles, the Royals, and the Twins.
Yep.
The NL wild card would be the Braves, the Padres, and the Cubs, and the Giants as of right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that will look completely different at the end of the season. It won't even matter. So, speaking of playoffs and championships, Brian, it seems like you've been keeping up with the UFL a lot more than I have.
Uh-huh.
I do know that my team, my favorite team in the UFL for the first year, I've been a long time Houston Roughnecks fan. And we are terrible. I mean, I think I might try out next season. This is embarrassing. 26-22, we lose to the Michigan Panthers. Does Michigan even have Panthers? I don't think they do.
Hey, that's my team. You better watch it. I'm a long time fan of the Michigan Panthers.
Yeah. What's the quarterback's name?
Yeah, him. Erling or Turling. Like,
how many Super Bowls does he have? How many championships do the Michigan Panthers have?
As many as anybody else.
So, if what you're saying is true, if I'm understanding it correct, they have one more regular season game which is this weekend, and then it goes into the playoffs. So break that down for us, Brian. Let us know what's happening this weekend in the UFL.
All right. Well, the Birmingham Stallions, who were two-time USFL champs, they lost for the first time in 15 weeks this weekend. So, and they were very not classy. I was watching the game. Near the end of the game, they were kind of pushing and shoving, and literally their coach, Skip Holtz, ran out onto the field and was like yelling at the players, like, you can't do that. Like, you got to lose with grace if you're going to win with grace. So that was pretty embarrassing on their end. I mean, you got to take the L and be classy about it. But there is one big game this weekend, and it's going to determine home field for the playoffs. It's the San Antonio Brahmas and the St. Louis Battlehawks. Whoever wins that game will host a playoff game. So that's legitimately a big deal. Like, that's huge. And then the other teams that are in it, obviously, are my boys, the Michigan Panthers and the Birmingham Stallions. So those are the four teams, but it's not decided yet between the Brahmas and between the Battlehawks so whoever wins this weekend will host a playoff game. So it's kind of cool, like, that there's still something to play for.
And the reason why that's so big, you would think maybe in a starter league like that, home field advantage isn't that big. But when you look at the St. Louis Battlehawks Stadium, listen, the St. Louis, they lost the St. Louis Rams years ago.
Yep.
And they've been longing for a football team ever since. And then came the UFL. And now they have the St. Louis Battlehawks.
Yep.
And that stadium is packed out.
All the time, 30,000 or something. It's crazy, man. Whatever it is, 30, 40. I mean, and it's unbelievable. That's kind of what's keeping them in business anyway, though. The UFL, they need to thank their fans, because any other stadium has like 12 people, but, you know, they really pack it out. They do.
So basically the playoffs are set. It's just determining home field advantage for all these teams for the playoffs. So that'll be interesting. So good games to watch this weekend. Unfortunately, the Roughnecks have nothing to play for. And Dave, what was your team?
Battlehawks.
Oh,
you're the Battlehawks. Oh, and you're okay.
Yeah,
so it looks like your two teams will make playoffs this season in the UFL.
Yep.
I'm a long time Battlehawks fan, and I have not watched one game.
Oh boy.
Oh,
You haven't even watched one?
no, I don't. Yeah, I've been doing other things, man.
Have you been watching the NBA playoffs, Dave?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah.
What's your take on the NBA playoffs right now?
Well, I've learned some things about the NBA, about some of the teams, and about myself ultimately.
All right. Would you care to elaborate on?
I mean, are we getting into this now? Is this what?
Before we get into that, so right now, both series are at 3-0. The Indiana Pacers and the Boston Celtics will play tonight. What is it, at 8 p.m.?
Yes, sir.
Game tips off in 25 minutes, and it is very likely that the Celtics will sweep the Indiana Pacers to make it to the NBA Finals. I saw a stat during the Dallas game. It said no team, after going up 3-0 in like the conference championships, no team has lost the fourth game.
That's correct. They're 154-0.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That I feel like that's not real. I just feel like that's somebody made that up. There's got to, but I mean, after going down 3-0, like if you're the other team and you're down 0-3 to the other team, I mean, you're probably pretty defeated at that point. There's like, it's and plus Dallas is playing at home. They're at 3-0. They're playing at home the next game. And Boston, or is it in Boston?
No, it's in Indiana.
Indiana.
You know the last time a sports team that was down 0-3 came back to win a series?
Tell us.
Yeah, it's probably, I know who it is.
Probably the Celtics.
Close. The Red Sox against the Queens
Okay.
in 2004. You want to know when it started? October 17, 2004. You know who was born on that day? My oldest son. He's the curse breaker. Thank you, Micah. So my wife was delivering and I was watching the game.
Oh my word! So, wait, was that a World Series? No, that was
that was the ALCS.
ALCS.
They had lost Game 3, 19-8 at home to the Yankees, and they came back and won the next 4.
That's crazy.
Yep. And then they swept the World Series for their first championship in 86 years. All thanks to my son being born.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which kid was that?
Micah.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Good job, Micah. Yep. Hey, listen.
Diehard Rays fan is a curse breaker for the Red Sox.
He's a diehard Rays fan. He needs to get married and start having kids. That way the Rays can turn it around, right?
There you go. I'm sure he's watching.
I was, so do you think that the Celtics are going to take it tonight?
Bro, it's over.
I said this a few weeks ago or whatever. I can't remember last time we did a show, but the thing is, the last series, the Pacers went to Game 7, right? Mm-hmm. And the Celtics had time off.
Yep.
They were getting, and when it comes to any kind of sports, those days off helps you recover, rest, get better. So did that help them? Is that hurting the Pacers that they're just playing nonstop?
I don't think so, because the Pacers they're unbelievable. They're the greatest game since sliced bread, according to everybody, because they run and they're so fast. But they're full strength. I mean, they played the Bucks in the first series, who didn't have Giannis, who didn't have Damian Lillard halfway through, but they won. But we're not going to talk about that. Then they played a Knicks team that had 4 starters, and you really need 5. They had 4 starters, half their team wasn't playing, and they had to go to 7 games to beat them. But let's not talk about that either, because Indiana was at full strength too. And now they got to play the Celtics, who the Celtics also have an injured starter, KP, their center, who hasn't played basically the whole playoffs. And now they're down 0-3. So maybe that should be a narrative. We should kind of talk about that. But, it's not really going to help the Pacers anyway. They were going to lose no matter what. They're just not good enough.
Dave, that's actually an interesting thing you bring up, because I'm looking at the playoff bracket. The Cavs went to Game 7 against the Magic, while the Celtics and Heat went to Game 5. So they had a rest period while the Cavs had to play 2 more games. Mm-hmm. And then They 4-1'd the Cavaliers as well, so they had 5 games.
Yep.
While the Pacers were still playing 7.
Man.
Interesting.
Celtics must be pretty good to do that without their whole starting 5. They must be a pretty good team, man. I mean, the Celtics are dealing with injuries. It's crazy.
Well, don't pretend like they didn't have a starting 4.
Okay. All right. You got me there. Okay. Cavaliers had a starting 4. The Heat had a starting 4.
Well,
the Pacers had a starting 5 in the beginning, and now a starting 4.
Nobody wants to talk about the NBA.
We're talking NBA. We're talking NBA today. That's all we're talking.
Moving on to the next topic. Dave's going to introduce that topic. Dave, why don't we just go ahead and move on? Talk about the NBA.
Okay, so here's the thing. Brian, Bobby Drew, guys. I know that you guys know, but for all of our fans out there listening, when it comes to sports, Brian, I feel like you're one of those, you're a diehard sports guy. Like, I might have to look things up, but you watch all the sports, football, European football, okay? Minor league football, the UFL stuff, the basketball, baseball. It's like you're like the encyclopedia of sports. And Bobby Drew, you know a lot about this as well. I'm a novice. For me, I've gone through these phases in my life. When I was in middle school, I was all about basketball. I'm like, that's back in the days of Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and then I lost interest. And then I moved into baseball. And then it was like I could have told you everything about baseball. And then I faded out of that. And I've always been a football fan. Right now, the football is my sport, okay? And I can hold a conversation with you when it comes to that, even though I'm not the sports guy when it comes to football either. But I've got something to say, and it's a confession, and I'm going to let you guys in on something in my heart here, because I feel like I love basketball, but I don't follow it. And when all these the finals are coming up, the semi-conference finals and all this stuff is coming up, and we're talking to it. And I got to tell you, Brian, you led me down a road, man. I'm listening to you talk about the Celtics, and I'm hearing this is the team. There is nobody better. We got starters. We run deep, deep onto the bench. We go, and I'm listening to you. I'm like, I'm sold, man. The Celtics are it. There's nobody else. Why do we even play the games? Just give them the trophy. Put the rings on their finger. All right, you're leading me down this road, and in my gullibility, I go with it. But now I'm starting to hear all these other things. Mm-hmm. I'm starting to tune in and watch stuff, and I'm thinking, whoa, this is not, the Celtics are good. Don't get me wrong. But I think there's a lot of other good in the league. And then one of the things I'm looking at, Brian, the Eastern Conference is garbage. They're trash. The Boston Celtics are this elite team in a garbage league. It's like looking back on the New England Patriots when in their division they're playing like the Dolphins, the Bills, these teams that are just no good. They win. They're in the playoffs every year because of the division they're in. Mm-hmm. The Eastern Conference, Boston Celtics had 64 wins. The next closest team was 50 wins. And you think, man, that's an elite team. They are so good. But I'm wondering, if you put them in the Western Conference, are they still as elite? Are they winning these games? I mean, you got to go a third of the league, a third of the Western Conference league deep before you get under 50 wins on the season. And I know you've got all the elite players, you've got all these guys, and I know we're going to hear your arguments on this. And honestly, I don't know how to keep up, but I'm questioning my life, and I'm questioning what I've been told. I feel like, we're all Christian guys, and when you tell me about the Lord, I don't have just to listen to you tell me how good God is. You can show me in the book.
Mhm.
We can open the scriptures, and you can tell me, you can show me how it is. But here, I think I just went wrong by just listening, taking your word for it. And now I'm starting to see, man, I don't know if you led me down a road, man. And now at this point, I think it's appropriate, Bobby Drew, that you put me in the middle of the screen here between the two of you, because I think both of you have far differing views. And I don't know if anything I've said right now has made sense, but I think you've got some explaining to do, and I feel like I already know what you're going to say, Brian. And I don't know who needs to go first, whether it's Bobby Drew or Brian or how this is going to work. But I need to sit back and listen.
Why don't we let Bobby go first, and then I can rebuttal to both of my co-hosts here. I'll just sit back and listen to his knowledge bomb that he's going to drop too.
And I want to say something. I'm not coming against you.
No.
But I'm questioning you, and I'm questioning the world, really.
I appreciate your questions, because I've got answers for you that you're going to sit back and go, my life is still pretty good. Thanks, sports guy. So
I think the Mavericks are going to beat the Celtics, bro.
Okay, we'll listen to Bobby Drew.
Okay. Well, just remember.
Let me wet my whistle here with some A&W root beer, not a sponsor.
While you're doing that, we need sponsors, people. Okay, DM us, talk to Bobby Drew, help us out.
Listen, first, I would like to lay the foundation of what I'm about to say. Okay. One, me, I would say, yes, I love basketball. I like basketball. Am I an NBA fan? Partially, because I don't watch enough. I feel like I don't watch enough to say I'm a fan of the NBA. But I do watch basketball. I understand how it's played, and I usually watch, toward the end of the season, playoffs, and so on and so on. Because I'm not rich. I don't have all the money to pay for all this stuff. But anyways,
Oh my goodness.
my premise is that I am not a hater of the Boston Celtics. I'm not a hater of Jason Tatum at all. But I do like to bring to light, because I have been accused of it myself, to be a homer of the Green Bay Packers. And sometimes, as sports fans, we get ourselves in these predicaments where we like a team so much and it has a good player that we become a homer. So, with that being said, I will acknowledge that Jason Tatum is, because Brian said last week he's better than everybody else, is what he said. And he gave all these stats and everything for that. So, Jason Tatum is undoubtedly one of the best players in the NBA. Hands down. He's one of the best in the league, and I have stats to prove that. So, 2023-2024 season, he averages 30.1 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists per game. And if you guys know what PER is, it's player efficiency rating. He is rated at 25.5. That's kind of like the QB rating. You take all these stats, combine them all, that's his player efficiency rating. So he's effective on the court. He's also in the company of players like Giannis, Jokic, Luka, but we could also look at them and say he can't be the best. He's one of the best. He's not better than all of them. He's in company with them, because Giannis, he averages 31.1 points per game, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists per game, with a player efficiency of 30.8, 5 points higher than Jason Tatum. Jokic,
Time's up, bro.
24.5 points, 11 rebounds per game, or 11.8 rebounds per game, 9.3 assists per game, with a player efficiency rating of 29.6. Luka has an average of 33 points per game, 8.8 rebounds, 8.1 assists per game, and a player efficiency rating of 28.4. So these stats will illustrate that Jason Tatum is a top player, but others are just as dominant, which would make him not the best player, but he is an elite company with some of the best players. So I'll rest there. I don't want to give too much. I don't want to yap on and ramble on. I'll just leave that there, and we'll allow Brian to say whatever he would like on that.
Okay, so real quick. So I'm talking about the conference, the teams as well. And one of the things I noticed, you went right to like one player.
Right.
Okay.
Because I was addressing something that Brian had said last week.
That Tatum is him.
Yes. He is not him. He's one of them, but he's not him.
These are his pronouns.
Yeah.
Okay.
He them.
Brian, go.
Okay. Just for kicks and giggles, that is clickbait. That's what we do here on the Bobby Drew Show. We say things that get people's attention. Okay? So the numbers that you're reading off from Luka and Jokic and Giannis compared to Tatum, did you see how many shots they're taking to get that many points? Did you check their defensive ratings? Praise the. Now I didn't do that to you. Are you gonna sit back and just wait? Maybe like make mental notes.
You got 2 minutes plus 30 seconds. Like
yeah,
what
I
Bobby
never
Drew took.
interrupted. So my point being with Jason Tatum, who by the way isn't even my favorite Celtic. Just so everybody knows, Jaylen Brown is the dog on the team, but we'll get to that in a second anyway. But Jason Tatum, the hate that he gets is really unbelievable because he doesn't have to do what everyone else has to do because Luka has to take all the shots because he's a ball hog. Giannis has to take all the shots because he's a bully ball hog. Jokic takes all the shots because he's the only one that can shoot down low. The other ones have to dunk. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, well, he's not even in the playoffs anymore, so who cares? He's just skinny. And Jason Tatum just does what he does. He doesn't complain. He doesn't whine. He's not all about me. Jason Tatum just goes about his business. Plain and simple. So for people to hate on Jason Tatum, it's kind of unwarranted. The kid's 26 years old. He's 26. There are superstars in the league that didn't even sniff a title until they were older than that, and he's already been to a finals. And, oh, yeah, we're going to get to all those numbers in a little bit. We got a lot more to talk about. But the fact that I'm trying to say is for everybody to say that Tatum's legacy or whatever is tainted, what are we talking about? How are we talking about someone tainted when they average 39-3 or 39-4? How can you have a tainted legacy? What's the guy supposed to do? Average 45, 15, and 31? I mean, let's be real here. He's an all-NBA first team, period. And it's not just the first year. It's not just the second year. It's not just the third year. He's been in the league 6 or 7 years, and he's all-NBA over and over and over again. He's gone farther than Luka. Jokic got his chip last year. Giannis got his chip. That's because they got super teams. Oh, next. Go ahead.
Okay. So let me
see what I did there? Nice transition, right?
Let me circle back to this. I don't want to make any transition to the super team because then that's going to get me thinking about the San Francisco 49ers and Brock Purdy. Okay, so we're not going there. All right. So I hear your rebuttal, but let me ask you this. I want to focus on this because this is one of my questions when I look at the Eastern Conference records compared to the Western Conference records. And it is all about, I mean, ultimately in this game, it's all about wins and losses in any sport. That's what's getting you to the finals or the playoffs or whatever the case is. The individual things, it's still a team sport. Basketball is probably one of the most interesting when it comes to the individual what each individual adds to that team. But Bobby Drew, what are your thoughts on just the differences, the strength of one conference versus the other? Do the Boston Celtics have an advantage because they are that super team that Brian admits that they are?
I didn't say they're a super team.
I'm pretty sure you did say they're a super team. What did you say?
Denver and Milwaukee are super teams. I didn't say the Celtics are a super team. We'll get into that. I said Denver and I said Milwaukee are super teams.
Okay. All right. Either way, we're looking here.
Let's not let Bobby answer this right now. I'll go ahead and I'll take this over. Here's the record.
Oh, no, he's got to have a chance. No, you got to give him a chance. 60 seconds.
He can have it right after this.
This is crazy. It's my show.
It's my show. Mute yourself. The Celtics were 64-18. You're right. They were 14 games better than the New York, whatever they are, the
Knickerbockers.
They were 7 games ahead of everybody in the West. So it's not like they were 1 or 2 games better. They beat everybody in the West except Denver. Denver beat them 2 times out of 2 times. Both games came down to a last-second possession. That was great. They literally beat the Warriors by 50 points. They beat the Lakers by like 8,000. They beat the Minnesota Timberwolves in overtime. They beat Oklahoma City. They beat Dallas. I think they beat Dallas both times. They on and on and on. So they're 7 games better than anybody in the West, but yet who's playing in the West Finals? The number 3 team and the number 4 team? So how good is the West if the 1 and 2 can't even make it to the conference finals? How good is the West? They lost to lower ranked teams. I mean, you should be able to win. And the Celtics are in the Eastern Conference Finals without their starting center, who's been injured all playoffs. So what are the Celtics supposed to do? Can they help it that the other teams are hurt? No. What you do is you do what the Celtics are doing. You wipe the mat with them. Gentlemen sweep, and then you sweep the Pacers. You just sweep them right out of the playoffs, and then you sit and rest. The Celtics in past years would have had these going 6 and 7 games. But they're that good now, and they're that mature, and they've been there, and they're that much better than everybody, plain and simple, because they have a far better record. So why can't the Nuggets, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Mavericks, the Timberwolves, why can't they beat the East? Because they have a lot of losses against the East teams. We can go into those numbers too if we want. But, you got to win who's in front of you. The Celtics won 64 games. That's it.
Can I add Bobby True? Give us the truth. Bobby Drew, what's your answer to this before I ask my next question?
Okay. First of all, we got to go back because I didn't get to say anything on the last one. He's talking about, Luka has to shoot more and this and who like Tatum doesn't have to shoot as much, so on and so on. In the regular season of this past season, Luka Doncic took 1,449 field goals. Jason Tatum took 1,436, a whopping 13 less than Luka.
How many games did Luka play and how many games did Tatum play? I'll wait.
I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, Luka missed more games than Tatum, so that means he's taking a lot more shots per game. If Tatum plays 75 and Luka plays 70 and there's only 13 shot difference, that means Luka takes a lot more shots every game.
And he makes a lot more shots because Luka has a shot percentage of 49.6 and Jason Tatum has a shot percentage of 47.1. So, yeah, let Luka take the shots because he makes them more than Jason Tatum does.
Too bad he doesn't make enough for his team to win. Go ahead.
And also, they're in the Western Conference Finals, buddy. 3-0, same as the Celtics. Anyways, Boston Celtics averaging for their starting 5. They have 3 players that average over 20 points a game. Tell me that's not a super team. while the Dallas Mavericks have 2 players that average over 20 points a game. So tell me who has the super team there. Also, Dave, I will say that the Boston Celtics against the Western Conference teams this past season were 23-7. So the Western.
That was going to be my question. What was the 30-game record against the Western Conference? So
in those 30 games, the Western Conference is responsible for half of the Celtics' losses. But I will say this, that the Western Conference is a lot stronger than the Eastern Conference. The Boston Celtics have had the cakewalk to the Eastern Conference Finals. As the number 1 seed, they played the number 8 seed in the Miami Heat, and they beat them in a series 4-1. And then they played the exhausted Cleveland Cavaliers, not the Cavaliers with Kyrie Irving and LeBron James, but the Cavaliers with Donovan Mitchell, and that's it, 4-1. And now they're playing the Indiana Pacers, which Brian was quoted 2 weeks ago saying, "Oh, the Pacers go so deep. They have a starting 10, but they're up 3-0 against the Celtics, and they are going against the Pacers are the 6th seed, while the Dallas Mavericks knocked off. They knocked off the 4 seed, the 1 seed, and they're about to knock off the 3 seed. So Luke is doing it without a super team. Jason Tatum needs a super team, and I'll say that. I can talk about the Eastern Conference more if you want, Eastern and Western Conference. Let's say, I'll put this out there. The Golden State Warriors, if they were in the Eastern Conference, they would be in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Sacramento Kings, if they were in the Eastern Conference, they would be in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Los Angeles Lakers, if they were in the Eastern Conference, they would be in the Eastern Conference Finals. The New Orleans Pelicans would be in the Eastern Conference Final if they were in the Eastern Conference. And I'll leave it at that.
Real quick, though, you can only have 2 teams in the Eastern Conference Finals, and you just knocked off 4 teams.
I'm saying all 4 of them would have made it. I'm saying that any one of them could have made it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Does the Boston Celtics have 64 wins if they're in the Western Conference?
Absolutely not. No way.
This is what I'm getting at, and this is what I'm hearing. This is all the talk that I'm hearing outside when it comes to the Western Conference is more competitive and more even compared to the Eastern, which the Celtics are playing in. So does that make a difference for them? Are they still the number 1 team? This is just one of those stupid what if questions that I hate, and I hate that I'm even asking it. So I take it back. Okay, let's deal in reality here. Brian, give us a dose of reality.
The dose of reality is the Celtics play in the East. There's nothing that we can do about that. There's been many years where the East has been better than the West. It's just the ebbs and flows of how basketball goes. I don't care even a little bit about if they play in the East or the West and what their record would be. 23-7 against the West. Okay, I think that's pretty good. In fact, I know that's pretty good. I know that's number 1 seed worthy. So let's go ahead and let's talk about super teams, because I'm just going to do it because I'm sitting here patiently and I want to talk about it. There is no real definition of a super team, but Wikipedia does say a super team is a team that has 3 or more Hall of Fame caliber, all-star or all NBA players put together to make a super team. Okay, so I'm going to read off some teams and then some names, and then we'll get to the Boston Celtics of this year. Super teams, number 1 this year, Phoenix, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant. A couple years ago, Golden State, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Kevin Durant. Brooklyn, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Kevin Durant. Anything ringing a bell? Anything like sounding weird about that? Now,
Cool.
one guy, right, was on all 3 of those super teams. So that means he got traded to this team, got traded to that team, wanted to go to this team. Follow me, everybody. Now we have the LA Clippers of this year. Paul George, James Harden, Russell Westbrook. Then we have the Lakers of this year and years past. LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook. We have the Milwaukee Bucks of this year. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Damian Lillard, and Chris Middleton. Now we have in 2012, 2010, 2011, Miami, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Ray Allen. We're going to go back a little farther to the Houston Rockets. Charles Barkley, Clyde Drexler, Hakeem Olajuwon, Scottie Pippen. Then we're going to go now to another Houston Rockets team. CP3, James Harden, PJ Tucker, Carmelo Anthony. Then we're going to go now to a Boston team that was a super team that is not this year. The 08 Boston Celtics of Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, and Rajon Rondo. Of all those teams that I named, there were one. I'm not really going to count the bubble team because the bubble championship doesn't really count. Two of those teams won a title with a super team, besides the Celtics of 08. All the other ones tried and they couldn't do it. Now, this notion that the Celtics of this year are a super team, let me explain to you. A super team does not come by drafted players. Jason Tatum was drafted by the Celtics. Jaylen Brown was drafted by the Celtics. They're two all NBA, all superstar teams. You can't be a super team if you're drafted, because a super team by definition is a team put together. Now, anybody that says the Celtics are a super team, Derek White of a year and a half ago when he got traded for a large fry and a small Coke, he was not considered all NBA. I can't help it that he went to the Celtics and he learned to play basketball and he's phenomenal. That doesn't make them a super team. He wasn't traded because he was a Hall of Fame player or an all-star. Jrue Holiday is not a Hall of Famer. He was an afterthought. The Bucks thought he was no good. The Portland Trailblazers didn't want him, and the Celtics said, we'll take him. Kristaps Porzingis is hurt. He's 7'3". He's not all NBA. He's not a Hall of Famer. He's a great player. Okay, a super team is a team that a team gets and they put all these superstars together. Sorry, Derek White was not a superstar before he came to the Celtics. Jrue Holiday is a star on defense. He doesn't put up 25, 30 points a game. Kristaps Porzingis never plays more than half a year. The Celtics were 21-3 because he missed 24 games in a regular season without him. And in the playoffs, they've only lost one game without him. And so that means they're 9-1 without Kristaps. So this whole notion that the Celtics of this year are a super team by definition is incorrect. They are a phenomenal team, but they didn't go out and get Jaylen Brown from the Washington Wizards and Jason Tatum from the Atlanta Hawks. They were smart enough to draft these guys because they're phenomenal. That's not the definition of a super team. Should they win the title this year? Absolutely. They have gone through their growing pains. They lost in 22 in the finals to the Golden State Warriors because they weren't ready. They were young. Their stars were young. Well, now they have a team put together to win. This is not a super team. The fact that they are phenomenal does not categorize a super team. It just makes them a great basketball team. Because when KP's healthy, you have Al Horford coming off the bench, Peyton Pritchard coming off the bench, Sam Hauser coming off the bench, O'Shea Brissett coming off the bench. I mean, I can go on and on and on. It's just a great constructed team. They do not have 3 Hall of Fame players on this team. They do not have 3 All-NBA players. That is the definition. Let's not forget that. Are they a stacked team? Absolutely. Should they win? Absolutely. Here's the thing. If they don't, Jason Tatum's legacy does not get tainted, because I'm going to read off a list to you guys of absolute Hall of Famers who had stacked teams that never won a ring. Allen Iverson, Terry Porter, Brad Daugherty, and Mark Price, Yao Ming on the Rockets, Shawn Kemp, with Gary Payton. Anthony Hardaway with Shaquille O'Neal. Paul George still doesn't have a ring. Chris Webber with Mike Bibby, Vlade Divac, Peja Stojakovic. I mean, I can go on and on with who he's got. Reggie Miller, Dominique Wilkins, Steve Nash with Dirk Nowitzki, Patrick Ewing and a loaded Knicks team, John Stockton and Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, who went all over the place trying to get on super teams, couldn't win. So they're all Hall of Fame players that are considered top 50. So if Tatum doesn't win a title this year, all of a sudden this guy's legacy is tainted. I may be a homer for the Celtics, but fact is that's just homer versus hater, period. Because his numbers don't lie. He's all NBA. He's great. Basketball is a team sport, and it's plain and simple. By those names that I'm reading off, those super teams that couldn't win shows that it's not a one or two man team. You need a full team, plain and simple. That is the definition of a super team when you put everybody together. And guess what? They don't have a super team. They just have a great team. And if we want real quick, we can do honorable. Let me do honorable mention because we like honorable mention on this show. 1993, the Charlotte Hornets had Alonzo Mourning, Larry Johnson, Muggsy Bogues, Del Curry of the Curry name, and Kendall Gill. That was their starting five. Okay. Then in 2015-16, I didn't even mention this. LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Love were brought together to win a title, and they did it. So plain and simple, fact to fact, the Celtics of 23-24 are not a super team. They are a great team. So please put your comments on there. Everybody log in, spread the word, put it on X, put it everywhere. You heard it here first. The Celtics are not a super team. They're a great team by definition. So I may be a homer, but you're just a hater. And you can hashtag that if you want to. And the Bobby Drew show is going to go viral because I just laid an absolute knowledge bomb on everybody. Plain and simple. The Celtics, when they win the chip this year, are going to win it because they're a great team, not a super team.
And what if they lose?
Okay, they lost.
But
that's it. I mean, that's it.
Well, let me remind you the last time that they lost back in the 2021 season happened in 2022 here. It was a 5-game series against the Warriors.
It was a 6-game series, but that's okay.
1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It was 4-2.
2, 3, 4, 5.
6. I promise.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6.
Okay. Warriors win 107-88. Celtics win 116-100.
Yep.
That's 2. Warriors win.
No, Celtics won game 3 also. Then the Warriors won the last 3. Promise.
I'm literally looking at it right here.
Yeah, it was 4-2.
June 5th, 2022. The Boston Celtics lose to the Warriors. June 8th, 2022, the Celtics beat the Warriors. June 10th, the Warriors beat the Celtics. June 13th, the Warriors beat the Celtics. June 16th, the Warriors beat the Celtics. That's a 5-game series, my friend. Anyways, what you're seeing here is, yes, they did draft Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Kudos to them for that. But they drafted those two. Those two they could not get it done.
Hey, can you? Oh, let me pull that back here real quick. Let me get it up there real quick. What does it say? Golden State Warriors win 4-2, 4 games to 2. You want me to read it off? I mean, I can read it off if you want. I'm not sure exactly what you were looking
at right here. Anyways, and regardless, they weren't able to get it done in that series. And every time that they lost, according to what I'm seeing right here, it was by 10 points or more. And so maybe the Celtics realized, hey, we don't have a good defense, so let's go pick up Drew Holiday, on NBA All-Defensive Team player. He's an NBA champion as well and a 2-time NBA All-Star. And then also, since we couldn't get done with adding him, let's also get Kristaps Porzingis, an NBA All-Star as well. So they may have drafted Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, but the fact is they couldn't get it done by themselves. They needed help. And so that's why they had to go get Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis. So borderline, I'm not going to sit here and say they're an absolute super team, but they're also not a completely homegrown super team team either. Drew Holiday is a big part of that team because he does have all-star defense on his side, and obviously they need it because Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown's defense isn't enough because they lost the last time they were in the finals. So, just saying. But
my question, like, I'm really worried about your fact checking because it's incorrect. But we can go June 2nd. The Celtics beat the Warriors 120-108. June 5th, the Warriors beat the Celtics 107-88. June 8th, the Celtics beat the Warriors 116-100. June 10th, the Warriors win 107-97. June 13th, the Warriors win 104-94. And then June 16th, the Warriors win 103-90. That would be 6 games.
Well,
so I'm not sure. I'm just not sure where you're getting your false information. I mean, we're putting it out to the worldwide public that you're saying it was in 5 games, or that's incorrect.
That's what Google's telling me.
Google.
Listen.
Yes. Go ahead.
All right. I've got to step in here because.
Wait, before you step in real quick, I do want to say, Bobby, I want to say thank you because how you ended that and prefaced it, you did leave it open for interpretation that you're not totally saying that, they're only a super team and they can't be a super team. You just said they were a great team and they had to make these trades to get over the hump, which I'm going to say 99.9999999% of the teams that get there normally have to make a trade or two to do it. And I'm just saying the Celtics, by definition, are not a super team, but yes, they had to make trades to get better. That's my premise. That's what I'm saying. By definition, they're not a super team, but any team, just like when the Warriors got Kevin Durant and absolutely blitzed the whole league. I mean, come on. Look at LeBron. He literally had to go to Miami. He couldn't win in Cleveland. He goes to Miami where Dwayne Wade's already established, and he brings Chris Bosh and Ray Allen with him. That's how he gets his first title. At least Tatum's trying to do it in Boston where he was drafted. LeBron had to leave to go do it. And Tatum's still only 26. I already went over the ages. LeBron was 27. Jordan was 20. I mean, we can go over the ages. I'm just saying, and everybody can say it till they want. I told you guys in the beginning, just like my UConn Huskies, I'm 100% knowing that the Celtics are going to win this year. And then what's the narrative going to be? What is the narrative going to be? Oh, well, they're a super team. Or I guess Tatum can do it. The point is, if the Celtics don't do it and they lose, I'm man enough to literally sit there and take it and say they didn't win, they lost. Because when the ball is tipped, we have no idea what's going to happen. Literally, anybody can get hurt. I mean, if Tatum goes down again, that's it. If Luka goes down, the Mavs don't win. It's just, we have no idea. But from what we see right now to where the end game is, health-wise to health-wise, the Celtics will win the chip. They just will.
Can I step in?
Yeah.
First, I want to apologize for bringing this up. And I do have to say that, Brian, once again, I'm impressed by your skill and your knowledge. And I don't think, this is what causes me to worry when it comes to something that I don't know that much about, such as NBA. I'm listening to what you're saying, but then I look at this, this short that you did and got posted to social media and kind of went crazy over it about like, you just are ridiculous and don't know what you're talking about. And then I'm like, well, wait, what does that mean? But you're throwing the facts at us right now. But really what it comes down to is, I know what you're talking about when you hear about the super team, I've never really thought about that is almost like something you create. And going back to that reference of LeBron James, when he took his talents to Miami and then he starts winning, and as opposed to winning where you were drafted. There is a big deal to that, I think. When it comes down to the conference finals we're in now, and ultimately the finals, what it's going to be is the Celtics and the Mavericks. Do we all agree on that? Unless something crazy happens.
It would take an injury.
Yeah. I mean, both teams are just, they're not,
And that's possible. Let's just pray that the spirit of the NFL doesn't get on them and these guys start breaking their Achilles, running out onto the court. I was doing some math while you were going on, and I'm looking at I was writing it down. I'm doing math because this is a big math show. And, all right. So the Celtics so far in the series, so going back to the start of it, not the series I'm talking about the finals, when the finals started or whatever, from the first game or for the first series to the next one to where they're at right now. They're averaging 113 points per game and change. Their opponents are averaging 103 points and change per game. So that's like a 10-plus point differential.
Doesn't happen.
Now I look at the Mavericks. They're averaging 107 points per game and change, but their opponents are at 104 points a game, which is only like a 3. They're at like a 3 1/3 differential. Is that going to correlate when we see the Celtics play the Mavericks? And now this is assuming everybody's healthy. Because I would rather see good games than be the asterisk beside that championship. Hang on, Bobby Drew. I've got the floor. Okay. I'd rather see a good game or a good series than that asterisk beside it that, the only reason the Mavericks got it is because Tatum got hurt, or the only reason the Celtics got it is because Luka got hurt, or whatever. Okay. So I'd rather everybody be healthy. But do you think defensively, it seems like they're both the same. Their opponent, but going by the points, their opponents are averaging the Celtics 103, the Mavs 104. So I'm looking at numbers. I know there's a lot that goes into it, but when you just forget everything else and you look at the numbers, they're averaging, but yet the Celtics score more points.
Yeah. I'm going to let Bobby talk. I'm just going to nod and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Go, Bobby.
So, listen, as far as it comes to averages, yes, you would expect that. The Mavericks are the 5 seed. Everybody they've played is a better seed than them. They're playing better teams, or supposedly better teams. You look at the Celtics, their averages are going to be skewed because they're playing absolute trash teams. They don't even deserve to be in the playoffs. So, yes, obviously
good point.
They're going to score more points because their defenses are trash, and they're going to have better defensive numbers because these teams have no good offensive players. The Mavericks, on the other hand, had to go against the youngest team in the playoffs.
That makes it.
They're an explosive offense, and if I don't remember right, you said that the Thunder would beat the Mavericks, is what you said, and that actually did not happen.
And you said the Knicks would go to the finals, and that didn't happen.
Yeah, well, injuries happen. And Dave, just so you know, the premise is already set up for all the Celtics fans that if and when they do lose in the finals without Kristaps, they're going to say, if we had Kristaps, we would have won.
Nope. Not all
Guaranteed
Celtics fans.
100%.
Well, one person makes it not 100%.
99.9%.
There you go. Whatever.
Well, okay. Here's the thing. If
Wait. Can I do a rapid fire question real quick with Brian?
I don't want to forget what I was going to say.
Let's do a rapid fire. I want to hear it.
Okay.
Dave, hold your thought real quick. All right. If, let's say, Kristaps is healthy, right? Kristaps is healthy. Tatum's not healthy. Tatum's out. Do the Celtics still make it to the Eastern Conference Finals?
I don't know. How would I know that? I don't know.
Oh, come on. Don't run from the question. Answer yes or no. In your mind.
So now it's a rapid fire question, but I have to answer it how you want me to answer it.
No, answer it yes or no. What do you think?
Do they make the Eastern Conference Finals?
Without Tatum?
Absolutely. Yep.
So they can win without Tatum?
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Have the Celtics faced a team with any caliber of talent that is equivalent to Kyrie and Luka?
Yes.
In the Eastern Conference Finals, or in the playoffs?
Yeah, sure.
Who?
Tyrese Halliburton, Pascal Siakam, Miles Turner. Oh, don't shake your head. You know anything about Pascal Siakam, NBA champion? How much do you know about him?
Bro.
How much do you know about him?
You're comparing Tyrese.
Who has Luka and Kyrie beaten? Go ahead, I'll wait.
They beat the Clippers, the Thunder, and the Timberwolves.
No. Hold on, but Kawhi Leonard didn't play. Injury riddled team.
You still got Paul George.
Who?
PG-13.
The guy that doesn't win anything? Okay, go ahead.
Doesn't matter. He's still top talent.
He is?
Yeah.
And, bro, he's top talent like 8 years ago.
And the whole Thunder starting five, young, explosive, and they're all good.
Okay, anybody that knows anything about anything in the playoffs, you take experience over.
Did you say SGA should have been MVP?
No.
Okay.
I said Luka should have been MVP.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it is. See, it is interesting because I'm not jaded. I can have an open-minded point of view. Doesn't mean just because he should have been MVP, because if you take Luka off that team, how far do they go?
Interesting. So you take Luka off that team, how far do they go? You take Tatum off the Celtics, how far do they go?
They go pretty far because they have a great team.
That just shows me that Tatum isn't him. Thank you. I'm done. I rest my case. Dave.
You know how many trades the Mavericks made at trade deadline this year?
I'm done.
How many
I'm good. I'm good.
Trade deadline. Do you know? Do you have any clue?
I don't know.
Do you even know? Two of their starters weren't even on the team before the trade deadline. So who's a super team?
All right, I have a question.
You gotta know all the stuff before you come at me, man.
Yeah, and that's why, Bobby Drew, I gotta apologize, but I feel like I'm leaning back the Celtics way. Hey, all right, for real, I got a question though, Bobby Drew. You mentioned something about the Mavericks in these finals. Okay.
Yeah.
They've had to beat better teams. Okay.
Well, when you're the number one seed,
but
you don't have to beat better teams.
Let me finish my thought here.
Oh, Jesus, help my coach.
If they're able to beat the better teams, why are they not the better team? Why were they the 5th seed in their conference? Okay. Are they beating better teams because of injuries?
No.
Not injuries on the better team's side. Timberwolves, were they playing the starters? Like were there injuries?
Matter of fact,
Ryan, this is a question for you, Mr. Google.
No, I mean Kawhi Leonard didn't play in their first series against the Clippers, and they had to go to 6 games. And Kawhi Leonard, he is all NBA. He is a repeat champion. Kawhi Leonard is him. I mean, he's legitimately great. I'm gonna say Oklahoma City. That was smoke and mirrors because last year they didn't even make the playoffs. Well, neither did Dallas last year either. But Dallas had now. Why is Dallas so good? Why couldn't Irving and Doncic do it last year? They were on the team together.
Chemistry.
Why? No. Why did they have to go? Why did they have to go out at the trade deadline this year and get PJ Washington and get Gafford. You want me to keep going on and on about who they got at the trade deadline to make them a super team?
No,
That's not a super team.
Oh,
All right.
of course not. Of course not.
Is Gafford and PJ Washington, are they NBA All-Stars and all NBA?
Eric White's not.
Drew Holiday is, and Kristaps
No,
Porzingis.
Drew Holiday was. Not is, he was.
He's also an NBA champion, which
Right.
Jason Tatum is not.
Correct.
guys,
Right.
hang on.
And
Hang
Aaron
on.
Rodgers has less rings than Jimmy Garoppolo.
All right. Well, listen. Okay. No, if anybody's going to swing it back to the NFL, it's going to be me. All right. That's me. All right. You hang on.
I win by
Question.
I win by default because he pivoted to the NFL.
No, listen. So the question is, and what I'm getting out of both of you is, forget elite team. Celtics are good.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
The
Yep.
Mavericks are good.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Celtics are better than the Mavericks.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
In every aspect,
Okay. All right.
every aspect
Nope.
of it. Yep.
But stop. Okay. So stop right there.
Mhm.
All right. So Bobby Drew says no. Brian says yes. Celtics are better than the Mavericks. Okay. So we went off track here from my initial question because it went right to it. I feel like this went to not Celtics versus Mavs. It was Tatum versus Luka. Okay. And based on what you said, Brian, when Bobby Drew said, if Tatum gets injured, do the Celtics still win?
Mhm.
And you said yes, because they're a good team. Bobby Drew, your rebuttal to that was, that means that Tatum.
Wait, what happened?
Oh, you weren't even listening to me, man. I was on a roll. I was sounding
All right.
smart. It was like I knew what I was talking about for a second. My brain was working and clicking. This whole saying is he is him. What? Okay. I've never heard this before until it came to basketball. And now we're talking to Tatum and Bobby Drew. You said because the Celtics are good without Tatum, then he is not him.
Correct.
Okay.
And Brian confirmed that.
Okay. Because Brian says they're still a good team if Tatum is out, essentially.
Correct.
Okay. So I don't know where we're going with this. All I feel like is that what's going to happen from here is the Celtics are going to play the Mavs, and the Celtics are going to win in 7. I'm calling it right now. Oh, you think 6? All right. Where are you at, Bobby Drew? We got to write this down.
All right. Celtics, Mavs. Celtics will have home court advantage. So it's going to start in the Garden. I'm going to say Dallas in 7.
Oh, you're going Dallas in 7. Okay, so I'm writing this down. So I'm saying the Celtics are going to win in 7. Brian says they're going to win in 6. Bobby Drew says the Mavs get it in 7. Listen, one thing I have to say about Brian is I know when it comes to football, the Patriots are his team. And he had this greatest run with his team. 9 Super Bowls.
Well,
No,
yeah,
what was it?
Patriots, yeah. Mm-hmm.
How many?
They
9
went
Super.
they went to 9.
They went to 9. He lost 3 of those.
Mhm.
I was with you. I was at Brian's house
When they lost one.
when they lost against the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
It was disturbing even to me, and I'm not a Patriots fan. And Brian, I would have expected him breaking chairs over the kitchen island and just kicking everybody out. But no, he was cool. He handled himself. He's a very Christian man. Now, I know he cried when we all left. Okay. I know when all the guests left and it was just him and his wife, I know she had to console him because the tears, were coming out of his eyes and everything. And I know that happened. But So you brought it up. What if the Celtics lose? I know he's going to handle it well. He'll shed some tears privately, but ultimately, we need. God, what is your problem, dude?
You're taking forever, Dave. You're so slow. I gotta say something.
What? Golly, man.
Dude, I got something in my brain. I got something to say.
Say it already. I'm not finished.
Oh, hurry up.
No, say it. Go ahead. You've already thrown me off track.
It's going to start an argument. Finish your thought.
Listen, I'm just proud of us, the fact that we've gone an hour and 20 minutes on basketball. Bro, what is happening to the Bobby Drew show? I mean, listen, when it comes to Tatum and Luka, the whole who's better than who, God, you can do this with everybody. Is it Michael Jordan? Is it LeBron James? Is it Tom Brady? Is it what's the other guy? Patrick Mahomes. How about Brock Purdy? He's going to beat all of them. Let's talk about football, okay? I'm tired of basketball.
Not yet. No, not yet.
No,
not
this
yet.
is my show now, okay? I'm taking over. This is the
we have a comment down there. Good versus good. Whoever wins is better. We can take that. But you guys made a comment just recently that the Boston Celtics are better than the Dallas Mavericks. And this is going to make a full circle all the way back to what we talked about earlier, that the Eastern Conference is a lot weaker than the Western Conference. Are you ready for this? Yes, the Boston Celtics have a better record, and this is why, because the Eastern Conference is weaker. The Celtics put up 118.5 points per game on the season, and the Dallas Mavericks put up 117.9 points per game on the season. So, with that being said, and also the Dallas Mavericks have a better field goal percentage at 48.1 versus 47.8. And so on and so on. But the point being that they virtually scored the same amount of points, but one had more wins and one had less wins. And the reason is because one was playing weaker teams than the other. Now I'm done. Thank you.
So we're going to see. So what you're saying is...
You had to stop Dave talking to hear that line of garbage?
Well, I think what you're saying...
Boston fan. Typical Boston fan.
All right. So what you're saying, Bobby Drew, is that we're fixing to find out that the Dallas Mavericks.
You better swallow it,
bro. You're saying the Dallas Mavericks are better than the Celtics, but it's gonna take 7 games to prove it.
Correct.
All right. Time will tell. And if you were right, Bobby Drew, if you are right, I will buy an Aaron Rodgers jersey and wear it to church.
He's lying. He is 100% lying.
And if you are wrong, you will buy a Brock Purdy jersey and wear it everywhere.
I do not agree to this.
Stand by your words, bro. Hey,
yeah, no doubt, man.
If
Stand
you have
business.
Bro, if you have belief in something, you need to stand.
Stand on business, as Kendrick Perkins would say. Stand on business.
And
stand
also,
on it. Believe.
As Kevin Garnett would say, anything is possible. I'm not saying that because at any point, anybody, Kyrie can go down, Luka can go down, and
you could go down.
Yeah, I could go down. Listen, I just know that our friend of the show, Micah Ford, is going to appreciate this episode and we appreciate these arguments. And I wish he was this tonight, but he's probably
foul, man. Throw him out of the game.
Brian's getting sidetracked.
What's happening?
The Celtics are winning, but Isaac Hayes just kicked Peyton Pritchard in the face.
Oh, good.
He's like literally, oh man, kick him out of the game. That's because Rick Carlisle said, "We're coming after him. We're coming after him. We're going to come after him."
Was that pun intended to kick him out of the game?
I think so.
All right, guys.
Hey, listen, I got one question. If the Pacers win tonight, Are they going to have any kind of hope that they're going to win this series?
Oh, they're not winning tonight.
Even if they win tonight?
No, not happening.
And same thing tomorrow. Even if Minnesota wins, they're not beating.
If the Pacers win tonight, they're losing game 5. So,
Yeah, I mean,
but Brian, I do have a question though. What was it, Saturday night? In the Saturday night game, were you sweating a little bit? Like, not sweating because of the series, but just for that game individually?
I watched the game and I kind of was like, okay, because the game flow just seemed like it was going to go to the Celtics. But with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter, Missoula called a timeout and blasted his team and told them to play defense. And Derek White and Drew Holiday came out and they put it on lock. McConnell couldn't do a thing. Nembhard couldn't do a thing. They blocked 4 possessions in a row on the Pacers. They blocked 4 possessions in a row to get back in the game. They were down by 9 going into the fourth quarter. And I text my best friend Joe, and I got it on text to prove it. And I said the Celtics are going to win this game before the fourth quarter started. They just, I mean, it was a switch. Yeah, I was like, man, 18, that's a lot. This is the third quarter. But there was just something about it because the Pacers without Halliburton, yeah, sure, it's an injury. Deal with it. We're dealing without KP. They just were running so hard. They were so into it, and there's so much energy. 48-minute game is a lot.
Yeah.
They couldn't close it out. Was I sweating? Yeah. Did I think they were going to lose? A little. But once I saw at 5 minutes ago in the third quarter what they literally turned it around on defense, I said the Celtics win, and they did.
Bro, when the Pacers came across the court, I can't remember how many seconds were left. I don't even remember what the score was. It was like a 1-point game either way. When the Pacers came across half court with that ball, and the Pacers coach didn't call a timeout to reset.
Yeah.
Because it was only like 8 seconds left, and I'm sitting here like, dude, what are you doing?
Yep.
Dave, go ahead.
Listen, I think this has been a great show. This has been entertaining. You guys have entertained me. I was glad to be in the middle of it. I just want to remind everybody that blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. And I feel like I was a peacemaker here tonight. And I also want to say, to all the viewers out there, we need your help. Like and subscribe. We need people to follow us. As soon as we get to 500, we're going to do some kind of a drawing. We're going to pick somebody that's going to win a $50 gift card from Bobby Drew. He's going to pay for it. He's going to mail it to you. You're going to get a $50 gift card. And this is one of those things. It's going to be honest. We're going to pick a name, okay? And somebody's going to get it. And so like and share. We need to grow this show. We need sponsors. So I'm reaching out to, the Celsius, Monster. I'm seeing who are you drinking? A&W root beer, Brian, your mineral water or whatever stuff you drink. We need sponsors on the show. I've got family to feed.
Brian, season's coming up.
Brian's got a family to feed, and so do you. Listen, if you've ever ate with Bobby Drew, you know that man can eat. And if you ever go to CC's Pizza with him, listen, CC's Pizza, sponsor us. And we need to build this show up. And football season's going to be here before you know it. We're going to be talking about fantasy football. This is when this show is going to go off. I cannot wait.
You better get on board now before we blow up and when we reject your application.
We will not reject your application, Drew.
Just saying. Hey, guys, we just peaked at 13 viewers right now. So thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I got goosebumps.
Look at that.
Thank you.
If you guys are wondering what in the world is going on and you just joined in the show, me and Brian just had a debate, and I won that the Dallas Mavericks
Celtics.
You did not win, bro. Sorry.
I'm keeping this sign. It's going to be a staple on the show. I'm putting it on the back wall. I'm going to have to. There was so much said in all this. I'm going to have to go piece by piece and break this down
and I'm gonna get so many clips, and I'm gonna make it look so bad for you, Brian. I'm gonna make it look.
Oh,
so
that's fine. I got broad shoulders. I can handle it. Everybody can
Listen.
watch the actual show and know what's going on and realize that you lost. So that's why you're going to do that. So have fun.
Listen, we got things in the works.
Yeah.
So it is very soon. We're going to have a studio, and it's going to be. And as soon as we get those sponsors, we're going to be flying Brian in to the studio every Monday,
Once a week.
and once a week he can spend the night at Bobby Drew's house, and then he go home on Tuesday.
Delta
And-
Airlines sponsor.
Speak of the airline miles, bro. We need Southwest Airlines. Where you at? Come on, we need you.
Listen.
Please.
All right, hold on one second. Let me. I'm taking back over, Dave. Now I'm in the middle. Now I'm in the middle. Now I'm in charge. And I'm calling it quits. We've been on here for an hour and 28 minutes. It's been fun. We've had a good time, and I love winning. So it's been awesome. It's been a great time. So Dave, actually, you know what, Dave? You deserve to be next to Brian. You guys can be next to each other. Yeah, you two over there. You guys, yeah, join your bald heads together, and we'll enjoy the rest of the NBA finals and the NBA playoffs. And see what happens. Because now I feel like since we've had so much talk about it, now there's some pressure. I'm going to have to make a call to Mark Cuban and ask him to, pick up some free agents or something.
Mark Cuban doesn't even own the Mavericks anymore.
Oh, see.
Oh my!
But when did I ever?
He doesn't even own them.
When did I ever say I was a Dallas Mavericks fan?
Bro, but you got to stand on some kind of business. I mean, you're coming at me with false information. And again, do me a favor. Make sure you look up the 22 finals. It was 4-2, not 4-1. Everybody out there, look it up, and then you'll know why I won the debate. He's giving false information.
That's what, when I typed it into Google, I said 2021 NBA Finals, and that's what popped up, okay? That's not my fault. That's their fault.
You understand they played in 2022, right?
Yes, but it was a 2021 season.
Right. But you got to look up 2022 final. No, you don't have to look it up. I told you. That's factual. I'm
going to look it up right now.
Oh, my God. Listen.
I literally sent you the screenshot. I texted it to you. Look it up.
I'm using my phone, genius.
You're bad.
Hey, in the new studio, this is going to hang on the wall. Okay.
Love it. Love it.
This is because, and I can't wait till all three of us are together in the studio.
Okay.
Where we can throw stuff at each other.
As much as I like winning, I will also admit when I am wrong. But I will say it was not my fault. It was the search engine's fault. It gave me the wrong things.
No, it was your fault because you tried to come at me with something that you didn't actually take the time to research, and that's what happens. Now it's out there and it can never be taken away. Why don't you go ahead and why don't you splice that and make it look like you never said it?
I can, and I will.
I mean, if you want to debate me, be prepared.
This wasn't
at me with and then you say someone that owns a team doesn't even own the team.
This wasn't even a debate. It was
They didn't even know that they made any trades at the trade deadline.
It was a landslide on my part.
That's fine. I'm a peacemaker. I'll give it to you, Bobby Drew. I'll be the better man. You
Yeah,
are.
Brian, be a peacemaker.
Yep.
I'm looking at who's owning the Mavericks now.
I'm going to be honest with you. The only reason I know anything about the Mavericks is because they were owned by Mark Cuban. I didn't know he sold the team, but of course he did. He bought them on the cheap and sold them for a profit. What else?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what a time to be alive.
That's what businessmen do.
All right, here we go. Now I'm taking back over. All right, Dave. Oh, my mom's in the comments. She said, "Where you been, Bobby Drew? I knew Mark Cuban didn't own the Mavericks."
Oh, your mama. Oh, your mama.
Yes,
Burn you, bro.
You know what? We'll have my mom on the show next week. Mom, I'll set you up. We're going to get you on the show, and you can tell Brian how he's wrong. Yeah, argue with my mom, Brian. Argue with my mom.
Yeah, right. Your mom still cuts the crust off your peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
No,
I
she
know it.
doesn't.
Yeah,
Cuts
she
it in
does.
triangles.
That's funny.
Oh.
All right, y'all. We got to get out of here. We're done. Finito. Anything? Actually, you don't get a chance to say anything else. We're done. This has been the Bobby Drew Show. Watch the rest of the NBA playoffs. Let's see who ends up in the finals. It'll be the Mavericks and it'll be the Celtics. But let's see how many games it takes. Anything crazy that happens. Matthew chapter 5, verse 9. Blessed are the peacemakers, myself, for they shall be called the children of God. We are all peacemakers here on the show. The Bobby Drew Show, the peacemakers, is what our slogan will be. But thank you all for joining in on this Monday night. We'll see you next time. Peace out and God bless. 1 second while there we go.